Hello, welcome to Facebook Town Hall Live today. Today's Tuesday, it's 7. Let's get to it. Let's see, one of the first announcements, we have May 29th at 6 p.m. We'll have a volunteer event. That is a Tuesday. We'll have a volunteer event. This is a new kind of volunteer event, so I hope to see you there and come on out. See how you can get involved in the campaign, as well as if you don't already know, you can go to our website to see anything else about us at www.DeWittForCongress.com, as well as we're on YouTube as well. Look up Justin DeWitt U.S. Congress. That'll bring us up on YouTube, as well as we are on Instagram. I'll have that information for you in the next video. We have it up. Just don't have the login with me at the moment. Let's go with recap what I did while we wait for questions. Last week we had the True Blue Gala I went to. It was a very good event. Enjoyed it. Thank you to the state party for putting that on. I got to meet a lot of people and see a lot of people I've already met and chit-chat and had a good time. Got to speak with the governor as well. Got to speak with a few of our great representatives like Pat Smith, as well as Representative Ted James. It was very, very fun and very informative as well. Also, I've had a few people at the events these past few weeks ask me a few questions. Oh, I didn't see it such and such event or such and such event. I like to remind everyone that I work 40 hours a week. I don't come for money. I'm not the typical elected politician we currently have in our seat or in other seats that came from money or had money that can afford not to have a daytime job. I work 40 hours a week. I don't get to choose when I leave my job and go do what I want to do. So I'm there Monday through Thursday. I work 4 10-hour days right now from 7 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. every day outside on highways and other projects throughout the state. So if I'm not in an event and it's Monday through Thursday, there's a reason I'm working. And a lot of people have that same issue with a lot of groups and organizations put on these events and functions. And I understand that times are, relevant to their events and such things like that. But also, the working people can't go to events if it's during the work hours. The general majority of people work hours. There's people who do work all different hours. Trust me. Share this video with your friends if you want, or ask them to come join. We're still waiting on questions right now, but continue on with my little side notes I wrote myself. I want to make sure I mentioned in this town hall. Let's see. I did have an episode happen at my house, near my house the other day. Friday night was the True Blue Gala. I went to the True Blue Gala. I got home, went to bed. Saturday I had the barbecue fundraiser event, and thank you all for coming out, by the way, everyone that came to that event. After that event was over, I had a few more meetings and things like that. We were able to do a great, successful day. I got home about 2:30 in the morning. Came inside and sat down, relaxed, conversating with my husband, and then you see the neighbors were kind of loud at this time of hour. Didn't think too much of it, but about a little while after that, someone came banging on my door about 10 minutes after I heard the noises and the loud commotion. And it was a girl. She had some blood on her. Apparently, one of my neighbors had an argument with their spouse, and he shot himself. He's alive. And still in the hospital, I believe. I'm not getting into much of their business due to the fact they are neighbors. They are not someone that I've talked to on a regular basis, but it's something that happened right next to me. And that kept me up pretty much all Saturday morning, Sunday morning technically. And then I went and did my Sunday afternoon things and continued on to work Monday. So that was pretty much a little bit of a recap of what I've done in the past few weeks. We are also, let's see, do we have any questions yet, or am I still?
Yeah, you do have a question.
Sure.
So, James asked, what's the most important political topic that needs to be addressed in your opinion, and what's your stance on it?
The most important political topic that needs to be addressed, and where's my stance on it? Most important topic is money in politics. The reason that is because the reason money in politics is the most important topic is that every other subject and every other issue in politics, the root comes from money in politics. Why don't we have the greatest healthcare system in the world? Why don't we, where people have access and it's affordable, if not, that it's not provided and affordable? It's because money in politics. Companies buy off politicians. Why don't we have a net neutrality rule? Because telecom companies bought off politicians. There's a vote coming up about that pretty soon. I would like to see Representative Graves vote on that, being that large amount of telecom companies are donating to him large amounts of money. But that's the root of all problems and the root of all things in politics. And my stance on it is I want it out. I want money in politics gone. But in order to do that, people have to get involved with campaigns. People have to donate to campaigns, because I can't run for office with signs, with bumper stickers, with buttons, with stickers, with cards. I can't even imagine if you have to drive your vehicle after you work like I do. I get off 5:30 and drive somewhere you don't really expect to go before you start running for Congress. So I don't have lots and lots of money. So those little expenses, campaigns cost money. And if people aren't involved in those campaigns, then that's where the corporations will step in and they will buy those politicians, and they will not represent you, they'll represent them.
You have another question. Rob asks, as you know, we're aligned on a core issue, the environment and coastal erosion. What's your short and long-term plan to address the loss of Louisiana land?
Short and long-term plan is that, first of all, the diversions is a good move that we've been working on getting in this for the state. Diversion of sediment out of the Mississippi River into the swamps and the wetlands of Louisiana. But here's one thing that I don't think has been put out there enough by our current representative or anyone else. Not many people put this out there. Mississippi River doesn't have as much sediment as it used to have in it back when it built Louisiana up. There's all these dams and dams and things up north, way up north, where the Mississippi River begins and all. That the water gets into these things, they drop their sediment, then they flow out, and then they get in another one, they drop their sediment. The Mississippi River has way less sediment in it, so that's not going to reverse. That might slow it down, but that will not reverse the loss of land. Another way is the canals that have been dug throughout the state for oil and gas, for fisheries and things like that. Those need to be addressed. That's contributing to saltwater intrusion into the Baton Rouge area's aquifer. There's no surefire fix, but there are several things we can do to mitigate that problem, those diversions, as well as moving in certain areas. Concentrating our efforts in certain areas, and that would help mitigate that problem. But so we got another question?
Yeah, I apologize if this isn't the correct pronunciation, but Ruari asked, what is your reaction to the Santa Fe shooting? These school shootings are not going away. I worry about my kids' safety at school. It's discouraging that the NRA is buying our politicians. Will you fight to combat gun violence, or will you just be like Garrett Graves and only offer your thoughts and prayers?
The thought on the Santa Fe shooting is that not only we still have school shootings, those are horrific, and we have suicide, one of the largest gun deaths in this country, as well as accidental guns. There's all these different causes for people getting shot and dying. I'm not going to offer the typical thoughts and prayers, and we need to figure out what's the root. The root of the problem is that people who are angry or upset or mentally disturbed at the time have the ability to grab something, put it in their hand, and affect a mass effect on other people. That's what a gun offers you. A gun offers the kid who has been ostracized or has been made fun of, it offers people that ability to do something that they couldn't do with their bare hands. So in order to fix that problem, there's several ways to fix that problem. Number one, I do have to give it to some people that have mentioned this from the other side, that the way schools are designed, that's not the only fix. That's not nowhere near it. I'm not going to cut it off there and give you that excuse that it's a door thing. The way they're designed does help, but also there's schools, there's the way they're designed, and then you go to the fact of why are the weapons in the schools? How are they getting into schools? There's not security at these schools, as well as you have to regulate the gun purchase of the people who are getting these weapons that do not need to have them. That's why I support the red flag law. That's why I support all the agencies that are supposed to communicate with each other do the background checks, actually communicate. Things like that will lower the amount, but we will never be able to guarantee that there will be no gun deaths in this country, whether it be, guns. You can never do anything that guarantees the problem goes away completely, but you can greatly reduce that problem by implementing simple things like red flag law, and the agencies must communicate between each other. Sorry, my throat's really dry. I've been having sinus issues these past few days. Let's see, we have another question. Let's see.
Yeah, Chuck said, because not everything has to be serious, where do you get those great suits, like at the gala? I'm very jealous I'm jealous of those suits, LOL.
Actually, thank you, Chuck. Where do I get the suits I wear? Actually, a lot of those suits are things that I kind of put together. Like I said, I'm not a rich guy. I go to Walmart, I go to Stage, or basically your stores here at the mall and here in Baton Rouge, and I kind of piece them together as I go. I have a great team that helps me with that, because I do not have the greatest taste in fashion. Is there another one on, or?
No, there's not another question right now.
Okay. Do want to say thank you to Governor Edwards for vetoing that disastrous budget from the state legislature the other day. Thank you for doing that. And as they enter a special session, I hope that the state can finally get this together and enact real change and stop having to come back every year to where we, instead of improving higher education, we have to keep saving it. Instead of improving our healthcare, we can, instead of saving our healthcare, we can improve it. So I'm ready to see what they can do, and I wish them the best. Let's see, as well as we are, let's see, I think I got all my notes on there. The May 20, I'll mention again, the May 29th event, volunteer event at 6 p.m. It's on our page. You can check it out, and I hope to see you there if you want to come to that. It's a different kind of volunteer event than we've done before. Like I said, May 29th at 6. And let's see, we will be canvassing soon. I want to ask if you come to that volunteer event on May 29th, we will begin our canvassing events very soon, and we're getting ready for the gear up for that. If you're interested, please do come to that event, and we will move on from there and start strong. Do we?
Not a question. Chuck says you're a man of the people. Denise says Chuck should try the Tanger Mall and Burlington. I agree, Denise.
Denise says you should try the Tanger Mall and Burlington. I would like to try those. Tanger Mall's not too bad. Where is Burlington? I'm not even sure. I haven't been to a Burlington Coat Factory ever. Let's see. Any more? Nothing yet. Let's see. I prepare to answer questions. I don't prepare a lot of filler. I don't prepare to long-wind everything like some people do. So I don't have a lot of filler space to prepare. So if you have a question, please do ask it, and I will answer it. And if not, no big deal. I just like to check in every so long and do these Facebook Lives as long as they last, in order to answer questions that may be there.
You do have another question. Ryan asks, hi Justin, last week China stopped buying our number one crop, soybeans, thanks to Trump's trade war. How can we help the farmers?
First of all, it would be helpful if we didn't start a trade war. Soybean farmers, we do produce a lot of that in Louisiana. Unfortunately, a lot of those soybean farmers are going to be hurt if they stop buying our stuff. Like the steel and aluminum prices, they've gone up. It seems to me a lot of shock factor in this administration, such as the Iran deal, with the oil prices going up. It's a lot of shock I'm not saying that there's something to it. It's odd to me that this president has done a lot of that. A lot of things that he does or says has caused the markets to shock and prices to go up on certain things, and for a little while, at a time. I'm not sure what that's all about, but I have noticed a pattern with that, with steel, with aluminum, with soybeans now. Since we're not going to, those prices will actually drop. They're not going to buy our product. Oil and gas with the Iran deal being taken out. But the way Congress is supposed to help with Congress has generally covered the tariffs, the trade or things like that. The president doesn't typically unilaterally do these things. If I was in Congress today, I would help to write legislation to fix that issue and to push it through Congress with the best of the ability. I wouldn't be counterproductive. I would try to fix the problems. I don't want to cause problems in Congress for the country. I want to fix problems in the country when it comes to trade, such as trade deals in order to do that.
Lauren asks, how would you help with the completion of the Comey Diversion Canal?
The Comey Diversion Canal, how would I help with the completion of it? New federal dollars for the infrastructure. Graves' bill that he just put, Graves' bill that he has out, it takes money from existing funds to do this. So the money, the disaster relief money we got from the 2016 flood, what it does is it takes money from it, diverts it to the diversion canal. Diversion canal can get built that way, but that takes the same money the people are fighting over the duplications of benefits. They're fighting over that little bit. Some people still haven't received the full funding. You got one pot that came for assistance during the flood, and now they're just trying to rewrite a bill to where they take money from it, that limited amount of money, and divert it to an infrastructure project that should have been funded and built already. That's just another politician doing their little switcheroo thing to make it sound like they're helping when they're just covering themselves for the fact that they haven't done anything on that issue. I would propose something. The president wanted an infrastructure package. Well, damn it, I think the Comey Diversion Canal is infrastructure, isn't it? Why isn't that in there? Let's not do $200 million of incentives from the White House's plan. Last thing we've heard about that. We haven't heard a lot about that lately. That's not $200 million worth of incentives, and the state raised taxes on you to fill in the rest. The state covers 80, federal covers 20. That's not an infrastructure package. That's a joke. Another question?
Ruari, again, sorry about the pronunciation. What is your path to victory since the 6th District is favored towards Republicans?
My path to victory is that Graves ignores the people. I'm going to get out the vote. And I am you. I'm not a politician. I'm not somebody that came from money. I'm not somebody that's going to sit here and tell you about things I've never experienced and tell you that this is the way you should legislate. I'm going to tell you this. I've worked minimum wage. I work currently outside in the hot Louisiana sun at 95 degrees, and I sweat every day. The way my path to victory against Garrett Graves is that Garrett Graves is a politician. I'm a Louisianian. I'm you. I work 40 hours a week. I don't come home to someone had took my clothes to dry cleaning for me. I don't come home to my house being cleaned by a maid. I don't come home. I don't have a car pick me up and bring me places. I am you. I work. These hands work every day out in that heat. I've made minimum wage. I pay taxes. I flood it. I know what that is. I know how that is to deal with. And I have health insurance for me and my family as well, and I know how expensive that is. So I know your problems and the things you need as a citizen. He doesn't. He's completely out of touch with what you need. That's my path to victory. To talk about that and to get out the vote and get my message out there and the people. If they like it, they vote.
Allie asks, I'm not sure what this is in reference to, but let me try again. Sure. What communication have you had with the National Democratic Party as far as support, financial and otherwise?
So what communication have I had with the National Democratic Party? Well, the DCCC would be the governing body over the congressional races. The DCCC is written off they have races they've chosen to get involved with, and no race in the state of Louisiana is one of those. This is the national party. They pretty much decide what they want to do, and they've written off every district in this state as something they don't really want to get involved with right now. They have their select races they want to use to influence in and to bring money. The DNC, I've contacted with the DNC. I've been in contact with them. They're very helpful with information, but they also don't. As far as funding goes, the DCCC is usually the one who funds, and this is a race they selected to get involved. The DNC, that's not their jurisdiction, as well as the state party. That's not something the Louisiana State Party typically does.
Denise asks, I'd love to know what your opinion is of this VA bill being presented by Senator Tester. Sounds good and has the backing of over 30 veterans groups.
The VA bill by Senator Tester, I support it. The VA bill has been, excuse me, I'm sorry, my mouth is dry. The VA bill, it's been needed for a long time. I support it. I'm sorry, I'm all these allergies, all this pollen out there.
Lauren said 50 state strategy.
I agree, 50-state strategy, Lauren, would be amazing. You got to tell that to the people in the DCCC. Excuse me. No questions at the moment? Okay, let's see. Man, apparently my phone has blown up since this started. 7:20, okay. Again, May 29th, volunteer event. Going to keep dropping it. We YouTube page, Justin Witt for U.S. Congress, as well as check us out on, make sure I got it, the Facebook. You're on it, obviously. Website is www.thewhipforcongress.com. We also have some bumper stickers we give out if you go to our website and click the donate button and help the campaign out. We have buttons as well. Sorry about that. The Whip for Congress buttons. We have stickers as well. We'd love to have more for you in the future, but those things cost a little money, and we are continuing on. And if you'd like to help us out, go to thewhipforcongress.com and hit the donate button. Thank you. Let's continue with any other questions yet. So I think I'm going to wrap this up in just a second if we don't get another question. I look forward to coming back to you soon. I'm about to step up, I'm about to do more live videos at events I'm at, and hopefully give you a little bit more insight into the campaign, as well as give you more insight into my daily life, so you can get to know me better.
Justin, we do have another question. James asks, what's your plan concerning other candidates running for the 6th district other than Graves? I saw that there is another Democrat, Republican, and Independent.
What are my plans as far as another candidate in this race? Well, being that my focus is on Garrett Graves, and I don't want to get all messy and focus on other things. I started December 10th. My race, I started it in December 10th, 2017. That's when me and the people that are working with my campaign, we decided to begin this campaign and move forward, because you have to start at a certain point in order to get off the ground right. We did that, and we've been working hard since then. We have the infrastructure we need for this campaign, as well as we have a strategy and a plan that we continue to go forward with. And I focus on Garrett Graves because he is the current representative. My focus is on him and flipping this district and getting into Congress and actually representing you. As far as other candidates go, they can do as they please. The voters will choose who they want. I'm not here to tell the voter who to choose. I'm here to offer them the opportunity to vote for me, and and I hope to have the honor of them voting for me. Like I said, I'm focusing on me, Garrett Graves, and you. And do we have any other ones that pop up yet? Nope. No. And thank you, Claire, for helping out by making it a little easier to read the questions so I don't have to focus down and I can keep focused on this. And we will come back to you live. Like I said, we hope to do a lot more live videos, not just Facebook town halls, but lives in all aspects of the campaign. We get you in a little bit more of what we do and what I'm doing, and get to let you know a little bit more about me. So hope to tune in next time we do something. And if you have a question and this video is being played after and we're not live anymore, go ahead and shoot it out, and we'll answer it the next time we get to something. And thank you for joining us, and look forward to talking to you again.